Hello folks, welcome to the API test automation with rest assured tutorial. I am Faisal Khatri. In the previous video, we discussed how to write a post API test with a request body as JSON array, JSON object, and how to write a post API request body using Java collections. If you have not watched it, the link is in the description of this video. In this video, we'll learn what are POJOs, how to create a post API request using POJO. What are POJOs? POJO stands for plain old Java object. It is a simple Java class used to represent data with fields and getter setters. In API testing, it helps you structure request or response data instead of using messy key value maps. The request body for the post add order API has a JSON array which contains multiple objects for the order details. This particular request body can be passed using a POJO. This is a more convenient approach as we write the POJO classes once and reuse them whenever required. This is the POJO that has been created for the order details and can be used in the request body. In the demonstration, I will show you how we can use this POJO to pass it as a request body. The POJOs can also be combined with the data provider annotation in TestNG for data-driven testing. How to create a post API request body using a POJO? Let's get into the demonstration and try our hands on the code. The first step is to create a new POJO class, ensuring we name the fields exactly as they are in the JSON object. So here in the JSON object, we have multiple fields such as user ID, product ID, user underscore ID, product underscore ID, product underscore name, and so on. The same way we have added the fields in this POJO. And the type of the fields should also match. So this user ID expects a string. That's the reason why we have created a string for user ID. For product ID and product name also, it's a string. For the product amount, quantity, total amount, we can take it as a double because these fields can also have decimal values in them and the quantity cannot be in a decimal. That's the reason we have taken it as an integer. The annotations @getter and @allargs constructor that you see above the class are from the Lombok library. We already added the Lombok dependency in the pom.xml while setting up the project. If you are not clear on how to add the dependencies in pom.xml, please check my earlier video on project setup. Link is provided in the description. Getter annotation generates the getter methods at runtime. The allargs constructor annotation is used since all the fields needs to be initialized for generating the payload dynamically at runtime. These Lombok annotations generate the boilerplate code at runtime and thus saves time and effort, so we don't have to write them. The toString method is used to provide a readable string representation of the object. We'll see in the later videos how this string method can be utilized at the time of running the test. The test post request with POJO class provides the implementation of the create order test using post API request. There are two approaches for passing the request body using POJO. The first approach uses the Java arrays and the order class is instantiated with the respective order values passed in the constructor, which will generate the order object. So we can see all the details for the fields like user ID, product ID have been updated in the constructor of the order class. Next, the POJO array called orders array is created, which supplies the orders as the request body to the test. This orders array will allow us to add multiple orders by simply adding more order objects. So if you want to add more objects, we can add multiple objects by creating new instances of this order class and then passing up the values in the array. Another approach for supplying the order array is using list interface from Java collections. The implementation details for adding the order object details remains the same. We instantiate the order class and pass on the details using the constructor of the order class. The JSON array is created using the list interface. So we pass on the list of orders as a new array list, and then we add the JSON object, the order object, to this array list. So this orders.add order1 will add the order object to the JSON array. Both of these approaches are correct and can be used. It all depends on your choice. Which one you feel is simpler and easier to implement. The rest of the code remains the same, where we supply the body in the .body method and rest assured automatically converts the POJO into JSON before sending the request. Two assertions are performed after sending the request. First, to check that the status code 201 is returned in the response, and second, to verify that the message field in the response body has the text order added successfully. Let's run the code and check the output. We can see that the test ran successfully. There were two tests, one using the list interface and the other using the Java array, and One by one, the order objects were created from the request body, and the request body were automatically serialized from the Java object into JSON format by rest assured, and the post request was successfully sent to the API endpoint. That's all for this video. I hope you are following the course. Comment your question if you have any doubts. In the next video, we will learn how to use JSON file as request body to test post APIs. Thanks for watching.